Larry Ellison is a co-founder of Oracle Corporation and is listed by Forbes as the 7th wealthiest person in the world. He went from being given to his aunt and uncle for adoption and not meeting his biological mother for almost 5 decades to starting Oracle and nearly going bankrupt before becoming incredibly wealthy with a net worth of $66.7 billion. Need motivation?
Watch a top 10 with Believe Nation.
Top 10, I got a top 10. Got my motivation high for my top 10. Gotta learn from the wise women and men. All my life, like 9 and 9. For my top 10, top 10, 9 and 9. This one's for my top 10.
Hey, it's Carmichael, and I make these videos because you are probably the most ambitious person that you know, but you also know that you're capable of more, and you get that push by surrounding yourself with the best. So today, let's learn from one of the best, Larry Ellison, and my take on his top 10 rules of success. Enjoy. Okay, let's kick it off with rule number 1. Find your crazy idea.
Today, Oracle employs around 150,000 people. But when I started, it was not my intention to build a big company. What happened? Well, at first, we did exactly what we set out to do. Hired the most talented software engineers in Silicon Valley. We assembled an all-star team of gifted programmers who were among the best in the world at what they did. That team, plus one crazy idea, gave birth to a giant company. I call it a crazy idea because at the time, everyone told me it was a crazy idea. The idea was to build the world's first relational database. Several theoretical papers about relational databases had already been published, and IBM was building a prototype in their research labs. But back then, the collective wisdom of computer experts was that while relational databases could be built, they would never be fast enough to be useful. I thought all those so-called computer experts were wrong. And when you start telling people that all the experts are wrong, at first they call you arrogant, and then they say you're crazy. So remember this, graduates. When people start telling you that you're crazy, you just might be onto the most important innovation in your life.
Rule number 2, be able to make hard decisions.
There were lots of times, especially in the early days, that were very, very difficult. I think the most difficult experience I had was in 1990 when Oracle had its only loss quarter in history. And we've been in business for 20 years. Of those 20 years, we lost money one quarter, and we had a very difficult time because we had doubled our sales virtually every year for 10 years. 9 out of 10 years, 10 out of 11 years. It was really quite an amazing run. We were the fastest growing company in history. Still are the fastest growing company in history over a long period of time. And suddenly we'd hit a wall. We would reach $1 billion in revenue, and we were having serious management problems all over the place. And the people who were running the company, the $1 billion company, were the same people that had run the company when we were a $50 million company, 1/20th the size. And I had an incredible sense of loyalty to those people who had worked with me to build Oracle. And it was a very painful realization in 1990 that I was going to have to change the management team, that the company had outgrown the management, that people who are good at running a $50 million company are not necessarily, those aren't the same skills. They're just different. Not one is better or worse. They're just entirely different skill set in running a $50 million company than a $1 billion company. And both skill sets are rare and precious. But we needed a different group of managers, and virtually the entire management team had to be replaced. And that means I had to ask people who I'd worked with for a decade to leave. I had to fire people. And that was the most difficult thing I had to do in business, asking a bunch of people to leave Oracle. I had no choice. I'd have to either ask them to leave Oracle, or everyone would have to leave Oracle, because there wouldn't be any Oracle left. So it was, in that sense, it was a simple choice. It was thousands of people worked at Oracle. They deserved the best leadership we could find. And my primary responsibility was to the company and all of the staff, all of our shareholders and all of our customers. And therefore, I had to choose. And if I couldn't make that decision, then I had to go.
Rule number 3, use your disadvantages to succeed.
Can you take me back and tell me how you've done this, Larry? You're the godfather of technology. You founded this company. You're still thriving. You're still coming up with all these innovation things. And I could see how passionate you are. You're beating everybody. And you came from such humble beginnings, grew up on the south side of Chicago, dropped out of college. Now you have collections of cars, jets, private homes, owning the island of Lanai. Tell me how you did it.
Well, I think my favorite line is I had all the disadvantages necessary for success. When you're raised on the south side of Chicago, you probably want to move someplace nicer. And I think if it doesn't kill you, it makes you stronger. So I've always been very ambitious. I've always been very curious. Moved to Silicon Valley right after I dropped out of college. Got a job as a computer programmer. I learned how to program when I was in college, and I got a job as a computer programmer and bummed around Yosemite Valley teaching rock climbing and leading river trips during my early 20s. But the way I supported myself was as a computer programmer. And I got involved with more and more interesting and complicated computer projects and decided to start my own company.
Rule number 4, pick your enemies carefully.
Microsoft, are they relevant anymore?
They make a lot of money. I think they're clearly relevant. Microsoft to me is, if I divide the computer industry into two groups, and I know for a long time I constantly was picking a fight with Microsoft, and now we're kind of constantly picking a fight with IBM because you've got to pick your enemies very carefully because you're destined to be most like those enemies you select.
Also, if you want to learn from other successful billionaires, check out my 254 series. It's free. The link to join is in the description below.
Oracle's a very competitive company, and I think there are a lot of competitive people at Oracle, and I enjoy competition.
Don't simply conform to conventional ways of thinking.
Translating a good idea into a great product is unbelievably hard.
Rule number 5, keep experimenting.
Throughout my 20s, I continued experimenting, trying different things, racing bikes and boats and constantly changing jobs. It didn't take me long to discover that the most interesting and rewarding programming jobs were found at a cluster of companies located south of Stanford University and north of San Jose. Silicon Valley was in its infancy. I was still in my 20s when I went to work for my first Silicon Valley startup, Amdahl, where we developed the world's fastest mainframe computer, faster than anything IBM had. Next stop was Ampex, where we built the world's largest digital data storage system. Then on to Precision Instruments, where we built an even larger data storage system, this time using lasers. I was the vice president in charge of software development. It was all very cutting edge and challenging and cool. I liked my work most of the time, but I didn't love it. I searched and I searched, but I just could not find a software engineering job that I loved as much as I loved sailing. So I tried to create one. I put together a plan to start my own company. That way I could completely control my work environment. I would hire the most talented programmers I knew, and we would all work together on the most interesting and challenging software projects. My goal was to create the perfect job for me, a job I truly loved. I never expected the company to grow beyond 50 people.
Rule number 6, be competitive.
You've got 440,000 customers, 145 countries. Where do you go from here?
Well, we want to make sure we beat Amazon in cloud database.
It's funny to hear you say that. I mean, that's it.
Simple.
It's very simple.
It's very simple. It's just like playing basketball. If you're playing basketball, you want to beat the Warriors. You want to be, you want to win the championship. So our job, we have the best database in the world. We've got to deliver it in the context of a cloud that's as easy to use as Amazon, but secure. And that's the key thing. Amazon has great ease of use. We've got to marry that to security and all the capabilities to the autonomous database, and we'll be great.
Rule number 7, have the right product.
How would you describe each phase of the evolution of Oracle, and how would you sort of describe running each of those phases? You got to do this quick.
Well, I mean, and clearly being a part of a company with 4 people and being a part of a company, and by the way, we're 85,000 now, post merger with Sun, 100, we think about, Sun's got about 20,000 employees, and 25,000 employees, we're about 105,000. So 105, 110,000, and we're not sure exactly about that. I mean, clearly my job has constantly changed. What has not changed is I ran engineering at Oracle on the first day. I run engineering today. The one part of the company I have always paid attention to, and is always reported directly to me, is engineering. Not sales, not marketing, not support, not consulting, not services. At various points in time, lots of other people have run those operations, the back office, accounting, order management, all of these things. The only thing that I've done consistently during those 32 years is run engineering, because I believe basically that once you will, you'll win. As we say at Oracle, it's amazing. Our good products seem to do very well, and our bad products not so well. So the thing I focused on, and I think where you get the most leverage, is developing the right products, recruiting the right engineers, and having the right organization.
Rule number 8, live your own dream.
During my California springs and summers, I spent most of my days in the high Sierras in Yosemite Valley, working as a river guide and a rock climbing instructor. I loved those jobs, but unfortunately, they didn't pay that well. So I also got a job working a couple of days a week as a computer programmer back in Berkeley. I had learned to program in college. I didn't love programming, but it was fun and I was good at it. And computer programming gave me the same kind of satisfaction as solving math problems and playing chess, both things I enjoyed before I became a confused teenager. At this point in my life, I thought I was making real progress on my journey of self-discovery. I had found a cause. I had a couple of jobs that I loved, and one that was fun and paid the bills. I was pretty happy with my life. My wife was not. What she saw was a college dropout who spent too much time in the mountains doing foolish things. She wanted me to work full-time as a computer programmer or go back to college and finish my degree. We compromised, sort of. I started taking classes at UC Berkeley. I took several classes, but the only one I can remember was a sailing class taught at Berkeley Marina. Once again, I fell in love and began a lifelong affair with the limitless, omnipotent Pacific Ocean. When my class was over, I wanted to buy a sailboat. My wife said this was the single stupidest idea she had ever heard in her entire life. She accused me of being irresponsible, and she told me I lacked ambition. She kicked me out, and then she divorced me. This was a pivotal moment in my life. My family was still mad at me for not going to medical school, and now my wife was divorcing me because I lacked ambition. It looked like a reoccurrence of the same old problem. Once again, I was unable to live up to the expectations of others. But this time, I was not disappointed in myself for failing to be the person they thought I should be. Their dreams and my dreams were different. I would never confuse the two of them again.
Rule number 9, question everything.
I don't think my personality has changed much since I was 5 years old. I think, as I explained to the kids just a little while ago, probably the single most important aspect of my personality, and as far as determining my success, has been my questioning of conventional wisdom, my doubting of experts just because they're experts, and questioning of authority. And while that can be very, very painful in terms of your relationship with your parents and your relationship with your teachers, it's enormously useful in life.
And rule number 10, the last one before a very special bonus clip, is have fun.
I don't know if you know this, there's about 3.38 million searches on our favorite search engine with Larry Ellison. And I read them all. I took them home at night and read all the searches and got nothing out of it. But except one thing. Did you know you had a Larry Ellison fan club on Facebook? It's not yours. There's 181 members. India, Egypt,
181?
France. That's it. That's it.
We have 105,000 employees after the Sun acquisition. That's really depressing.
I try to find something on Google, and that was what I found. You got 181 people that follow you, and it's really serious. Yeah, so you got to check it out.
Good God.
So Larry, let's
Who are these people?
I don't know. I'd have security check them out.
Now I have a special bonus clip from Larry on how to be aggressive that I think you're gonna enjoy. But before that, it's time for the question of the day. I wanna know, what is the next hard decision that you need to make? Let me know, put it down in the comments below. And if you made it this far in a video, you're still here watching, give me a hashtag believe down in the comments below. I wanna celebrate you. We don't just watch videos here, we do something about it. So give me that believe in the comments below too.
I was absolutely shocked the way we treated the Iraqis. You know, we were incredibly aggressive against them, and you know, I mean, was that really right? Couldn't we have done that at different? I'm being sarcastic, by the way. Of course, we're aggressive against the Iraqis. They were, you know, they invaded Kuwait. They were threatening our oil supplies. They were threatening the world order, and of course, you know, it was the job of our armed forces to defeat the enemy. It is my job to, you know, go out in the marketplace and win. And we, you know, run ads that compare our products to the competitors' products. We don't lie about that. We just say we can do this, they can't. We name the competition. It's fact-based advertising, and we say very clearly that we, you know, that we're faster, and these tests prove it. We're more reliable, and these tests prove it. We're more economical, and so we'll name a competitor. That's considered. That's not terribly, you know, even though the facts are true, it's considered a little bit rude by some people. I don't think it's immoral. I think that we're giving true facts to customers, giving valuable information to customers so they can make better decisions. It is Bill Gates' job to make Microsoft the biggest company on earth. That's what he's paid for. It's my job for Oracle to move from the number 2 software company in the world to become the number 1 software company in the world. That's my job. That's what I'm paid for. If I'm not aggressive enough in the pursuit of that, if I'm not successful in the pursuit of that, I should be gotten rid of. If a general running Desert Storm is not aggressive enough and successful enough in the pursuit of that goal, he should be fired. The corporation's primary goal is to defeat the competition in the marketplace. I think that, you know, my primary function is to have Oracle, you know, is to make Oracle successful, to make it a good and interesting place to work, because we don't want people to leave. People, you know, this is America. People can change jobs, and they'll go, and people like to work with other intelligent and interesting people. They like to do interesting things, Oracle offer, you know, we have fantastic salary scales. I think we're the highest paying company in Silicon Valley. We have, wonderful benefits, all of these things. But again, don't mistake any of that for altruism. You know, that is in our interest to retain our employees. their job, my job, is to build better products than the competition, sell those products in the marketplace, and eventually supplant Microsoft and move from being number 2 to number 1.
If you want to see the top 10 I did on Bill Gates, check out the video right there next to me. I think you'll enjoy it. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there.
The work of the foundation is super interesting. I get to meet with the scientists. I get to go out in the field. I do think your habits are sort of set in your 20s and 30s.